Alright, so Furina's kit, quite complex. And with complex, that will also draw some very questionable statements. So as the #1 Furina content creator, it's time to set the record straight. Hello there, Flip here, and today after taking a short break and waiting for the hell to ensue, because I predicted from a mile away this would happen, I've come back to look at some Furina guides and takes, and I guess just do a court roundup from all places ranging from TikTok to YouTube. But before we do that, hello Genshin players, it's almost time for the big red man to come around, and for that I'd like to proudly announce the sponsor of today's video, Genin Star. Genin Star is a fan-made merchandise store that is actually officially licensed by Genshin Impact themselves, meaning you are guaranteed to get the highest quality Genshin merch available. And speaking of that, with the merry season around the corner, the Genin Star's Christmas advent calendar is a wonderful choice to buy to get in the festive mood, as well as the fact that it's on sale currently and also running out, so you don't want to miss it. The advent calendars have 24 doors to open from the beginning of December up until Christmas. So what is in these doors? Thank you Curious Viewer for asking. The advent calendars contain lots of Genshin goodies like keychains, minifigures, plushies, and stickers, and much more. That's not all Genshin Star has to offer though, as they also have other items like these very nice mouse pads I'm just here to show you and nothing else, as well as these colourful light boxes to decorate your room with, some clean hoodies, these nice phone cases, and just check out Genshin Star for yourself and make sure to use my code FLIP at checkout and my referral link below for 10% off your order. Thank you again Genshin Star for sponsoring the video, now back to it. Very unfortunate to admit, but I am an avid TikTok user, and with my various likes on Furina content, that led me to some Furina guides which... Let's just take a look. From at Ayato Guild, the inferior Hydra character, we have a slideshow guide. Very good start. I didn't think I'd find anything on the first slide, but how to build Furina. Furina all fields DPS, sub DPS. Are those not literally the same thing? Moving on to the weapons section, best in slot, 3 best in slots, and only one of them is correct. Why is Wolfang at the top? It doesn't work that well with Furina, as it only stacks on field, as well as Furina not snapshotting, so you only realistically get half the uptime on the crit rate increase. And because of how Furina's burst works, you'll get your biggest damage bonus by the time the weapon has lost its crit rate boost. TLDR, it's not one of her best in slots. The rest of the weapons are fine though, I guess, so let's just move on. For artifacts, why is 4-piece Nymph listed and not 4-piece Tenacity, which can situationally be good? Besides that, ER Sand should be listed because Furina does need quite a bit of ER depending on the team. And her ER rec is absolutely not 140 to 160 assuming this is for solo Hydro. It's closer to 160 to 180 assuming you have a teammate with Favonis on the team. So far the Ayato main has gone 0-2, replicating Ayato's in-game performance as well. But I'm going to trust the process. The comeback is possible. They have gone 0-3, the comeback is not possible. I don't get why people recommend leveling Furina's skill first. Furina's burst has one of the highest points talent scaling in the game on its damage buff, and her buff buffs her damage, while also buffing the team's overall damage, making it just better to level her burst, as it aids both her personal damage and team-wide damage. Now the next slide, synergies. Do they know what Furina's kit does? Furina's main synergy is going to be with healers and the characters that can take advantage of her buff, being crit scaling characters. Alright, so why do you have a shielder and another buffer who doesn't heal as her top 2 synergies? Charlotte is literally on her banner, and if he wanted a Hydro Catalyst, Kokomi is right there. In this entire slide, there's not a single healer in sight, which is fucking insane. Layla makes no sense, you would just use a cryo healer. Mona also makes no sense. Furina replaces her having better damage and a stronger, longer lasting buff. And for the rest of the characters, besides Yae and Lisa who are kind of iffy, Furina does work pretty well with them. That's not the bad part. The teams are, because what am I looking at? If you were to ask me the purpose of that first team, you better redirect that question to the man above because I got nothing for you. Solo Electra Lisa, solo Animo Lynette, and you would need 7 Favonis weapons on this team. I don't get why people are so obsessed with making free-to-play teams that simply just don't work. What does free-to-play really honestly mean? Because free-to-plays can just save and have almost any character they want, so it just becomes a tedious label. If you want a relatively low-cost Furina team, Jingcho, Furina, Fischl Noelle, Sayu, Fischl, Furina, Lynette, There you go. And for the premium team, if you just replace Zhongli with Jin or Baizu, it would be a lot better as this team has no healing, which is something Furina teams do want. I'm done looking at this. 1 year in the slammer, let's get it moving. Next, this time it's a TikTok video from Reisu.yt, another guide to let's just play it. I have zero expectations.
This is everything you need to know to set up Furina and give her a busted build. Or should I say builds, plural, because there's quite a few ways you can play Furina. Now Furina's relic setup is going to vary depending on what you want to use her as. So for a DPS, use 4-piece golden troop with crit, hydro damage bonus, and HP.
Honestly, considering the only thing I have to point out is that they are a star rail player, the guide is going pretty good so far. The goblet is going to want to preferably be HP %, and without an ER weapon, you are going to want to run an ER Sands, but it's fine.
With the same main stats and substats as before, or you can use an ER Sands or an HP Goblet. For a healing focused Furina,
for a fucking what? Furina on a DPS build is already more than a great single target healer, and even then her healing stance is so utterly useless unless you're at C6. Her Numa state does no damage, no Hydra application, no energy generation, and you will have no freedom for the rest of your days. Life sentence. So I've been notified about 2 YouTube guides from, ironically enough, creators I've both made courts on, Super Atom and Mtashed, in which I've been told they've said questionable things, so let's take a look. Starting with Super Tom's video on his best Furina teams.
I have been testing her out so much since yesterday when I was able to pull for her.
Get more crit rate, you bum.
You want. And first team, that would be featuring Furina, New Villet, Fischl, and Jean.
I'm scared because so far this has actually been a pretty good video, and the first time his team is pretty good too.
If you want a similar version of this team for an F2P gameplay, then that would be Furina, Barbara, Fischl, and Sucrose.
Never mind.
It's definitely very good team for you guys to try out in terms of invested level. Try clearing the abyss with this team and they just sweep it so fast. Next team.
No. You can't just not acknowledge that monstrosity of a team. How is Barbara hypercarry any similar to Nouvelette? Barbara's damage is attack scaling while her healing is HP scaling, which means that you'll have to sacrifice one or the other, in which case it would most likely be her damage to heal and to generate more fanfare. Okay, so great, Barbara's going to be the on-field driver, most likely with the Favonius to generate energy for the whole team, compensating for the fact that she generates no energy. So why is Sucrose here? The only thing Sucrose really provides here is grouping, as Sayu could hold VV and then you could boot Barbara out for someone else, but let's just move on.
Mono Hydro with Furina, Yelan, Kokomi, and Kazuha. If we're playing a free-to-play version, that would be Furina, Xingqiu, Barbara, and Sucrose.
There is always a catch. Why is there always a catch with this guy? Why are you shilling Barbara hypercarry so hard? I don't get it. Why is Sucrose still here? This is the same team. You just replaced Fischl with Jingqiu.
That will still work pretty well in Hyper Bloom team. Functioning absolutely perfect for the team. We do already have 2 Archon here on this team, which is really great. And yeah, what else can I say? Because Hyper Bloom and Bergian teams are some of the best teams that can run in the game already. With Furina buffing that even higher, this team damage ceiling has just been raised quite a lot.
Alright, let's do a sentence breakdown. And yeah, what else can I say? Because Hyperboom and Burgeon teams are some of the best teams that can run in the game, already with Furina buffing that even higher. So where's the problem, Udex Flip? And to that I would say Furina doesn't buff Hyperbloom or Burgeon damage, she would only buff Yolanda and Nahida's damage and not the trigger. However, with how this sentence is structured, it does seem like he's talking about the team as he mentions the team clearly, but at the same time, he says that. What does that mean? I'm going to be a bit nice today and give him the benefit of the doubt and chalk it up to him referring to the team, and slightly misspeaking, but I will only be nice this once.
In terms of a free-to-play team that I want to talk about, because this team is very unique and technically became very much viable when Furina came, and I would say that is going to be a team regarding Noel of running with Furina, Goro, and Bennett.
That is a very odd way of playing Noel and Furina, but no need to dote as I'll be covering that in my Noel and Furina guide tomorrow. So make sure to subscribe for that, and for Super Tom, honestly, just a few questionable things, let's just give it a slap on the ass and call it a day. And now to close off this video with Mtash's video, I don't think Furina is as good as people are saying. Oh boy.
I thought that any healing from a different source would cause this, and if that was the case, she would be busted. I would recommend her to anyone. I would say that she is absolutely god tier. But unfortunately, this only applies with overhealing, overflowing. So she doesn't work with Bennett.
I'm going to have to explain this 100 times in the next few weeks, but Bennett and Furina work fine together. If you have your Bennett on a healing build, he will heal very large amounts, around 10k ticks, and if your characters are just slightly below the 70% HP margin, he will still heal the full amount and will still trigger this passive. Also, a lot of Bennett teams cycle through characters, whether it's Jangling to Snapshot or Kazuha to Pyro Infuse. Furina is the only one who won't cycle, but you can make some space in your rotations to do so. You could also just skip healing Furina, it doesn't make that big of a difference.
And I want to explain that. Is even though she's got good damage and she can boost up the damage of my team, so can this chick. And so can this chick without any downsides.
The downsides being you have no way to front-load a big damage bonus unlike Furina, and Furina's buff is T-Mob where your lance is only to the active character.
And so to mitigate that, I did find that a bursty healer felt really good. You could also swap to someone like Kokomi and get some healing for your team, but it doesn't feel as good because Kokomi has to do, like, she's got her passive healing. And then you can burst and heal up your team and chunk it up, but it just doesn't feel as nice as being able to quick swap through, get a bursty heal from, Jean, Barbara, and...
Here's the thing, because MTASH's look into Furina was basically just, where can I replace Furina for Yelan or another Hydro, not knowing that Furina and Kokomi would actually be great together as you can now on-field Kokomi, and use her as a damage dealer, and stack Fanfare ridiculously fast, for the off-field damage dealers to do more damage. Furina doesn't just slot into existing teams, but she also creates new ones, which is a defining feature of her. But yeah, no one at this stage in the game can even get their Furina past double level 8, and you couldn't pre-farm for her that well, meaning that a lot of people's perception of Furina is not going to stack up as well, because Hoyoverse hates us. Which is why it's funny that even at the level most people have their Furina, she's still one of the stronger characters in the game. And when a few more weeks pass and more people can maximize her, this will get even more apparent. So let's just wait it out while I cover more Furina topics, and with that, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe and comment your thoughts on Furina, as I'd love to hear it and I respond to almost every single comment. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace.